Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey, everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It is week 1 DFS main slate, Friday Night Lights. I got my man, Willie Walls, my other man, the great Swame Odell Blocker. We may even have a guest star with Tyrone if Odell can find him somewhere. We got a lot of people here, guys. I heard it's the night before Christmas, Swame. Are you ready to win?
And all through the house, Doc. Not a creature was stirred. Not even a mouse. Let's go, guys. Woo-hoo! Yeah.
Willie, are you ready to go, my friend?
Week 1 is here. Forget the preseason. Let's go. We got some winners for you. Let's play. We got some surprises for you. Everybody's on that Cleveland game. I don't know. But anyway, let's go. Let's play.
All right, let's kick it off. We won't even go by games. Let's go by positions. Let's start at quarterback. There is a bunch of guys, okay? So let's get started first with arguably the best 2 plays on the slate. Tell me if you like them. Tell me if you want to use them. Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts. Willie, using either of these guys or not necessarily?
I like them both. I think Lamar Jackson playing against Houston. I mean, it's, this will be his first time having the new toys, But I'm going to be honest with you. Odell Beckham, well, I think is he going to be out? Is something going on with Odell?
No, sir. He's not on the injury report.
He's not. I still don't want to play him. I'm sorry. I don't want to play him. I like Zay Flowers, so I like Zay Flowers. Lamar's going to be great. And the surprise, and that's what I looked at later, that the surprise is like you said, Hurts. I mean, everybody got New England. Don't get it wrong. Against the run, New England is fierce, but they're not fierce against the pass run backs, and they struggle against running quarterbacks, i.e., last year, what did Lamar do? 107 yards and a rushing touchdown. What did Fields do? 82 yards and a rushing touchdown. They struggle against guys like that. So a lot of people are poo-pooing Philadelphia, but they are in play, what hurts against New England. They are
100% in play. You could stack that with Goddard. You could stack that with A.J. Brown. You could stack that with Devonta Smith. Willie, will you use Devontae Swift or do you want the receivers?
Man, that situation at running back for me, man, that's like you flipping a coin. You don't know what it's going to be. I mean, if I had my druthers, if I had to go with one person, I would think it would be Swift. It would be his type of game. But man, Philadelphia, man, I don't like the running back situation. I'd rather go with guys who I know is going to get the ball, and that would be A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They're going to get the rock. You know that. They'll get the rock. But they're definitely in play. But I also like some cheaper ones too, though. So it would be surprised.
We'll get there. Yeah. So, let me get to you. I want to talk about the other big game. Justin Herbert and Tua, Chargers and Miami. If you don't have Hurts, if you don't have Lamar, will you have one of these guys?
Doc, I got to be honest with you. I've had mixed feelings on this. When I talked to Tyrone and Willie over the last week, we've looked at a lot of film. Numbers lie. Willie lie. Tyrone lie. Film don't lie. Mm-hmm. Film, Doc, is one of those things where you saw the games didn't have a lot of points. You saw Tyreek Hill picked up and went 60 yards on a fumble. You saw the offenses kind of struggle once they got into the red zone. They slowed down once the field shrunk. It just seemed like this one of those games where you might want a piece, but I'm not sure if you want to have one of these expensive stacks. Do I love them in season long? Absolutely. I think everybody's a play if you're talking about playing in your fantasy league. I like Eckler. I think Herbert, like Wall said, we like him a lot this year. But as far as DFS, I'm very cautious on this game.
All right, I got another game for you guys, and a guy who's picking up steam right and left. That Jacksonville Colts game, Anthony Richardson, the Anthony Richardson Express is flying there. Willie, do you like this game at all? Can you see yourself playing Trevor Lawrence? Can you see yourself playing A-Rich?
I might take a lineup with him, and I see that too. People talking about Richardson. Man, I mean, I think he will open it up more for what's the guy named D Jackson? What's the
Deion Jackson?
Yeah, I think he opens up more for him. But as him as a quarterback, yeah, man, I'm not having a lot of him, Doc. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm starting to make lineups now, and I know I have more interest on the other side of the ball with Trevor Lawrence than I do with Richardson. I understand he's a play, but man, he's got to prove it to me. I'm sorry, he's got to prove it to me. Go ahead, Swame. You got it.
Doc, I want in. You know why? Because Walls has mentioned a couple times now he's not sure. Where there's uncertainty, where there's risk, there's also reward. So you either go hard or you go home. This week one. This is week one DFS. If you're trying to take something down, where folks are on the fence like Willie, it's room for you to have some leverage. It's room for you to have someone who's low ownership.
What percentage are you going to have them? What percentage?
It's not about percentage. It's about does he have a chance to do something special week one? And the answer is yes. I'm not afraid of the Jaguars. I think they're good, but I think that he can come out and do something in this game. I really do. And I think that nobody's expecting him to do a whole lot. And so it's the stage is set for him to come out and have a huge game.
They are expecting.
I'm seeing here about 9% owned. And 9% is not terrible. And I think Swame's onto something, Willie, because look, most people like certainty. There is nothing more uncertain than Anthony Richardson. So he presents the buying opportunity. If he's good this week, his price goes up $2,000 next week.
What's his price?
Isn't it $5,200? Yeah, $5,600. $5,600.
56.
I'm not saying it's a great play. I'm saying I will have one lineup with him and I'll run it back with Ridley.
Oh, I'm going to have one now. I'm going to have a couple, but it's not going to be my core guys that I will have.
For a quarterback that can run it in 2 times and rush for 100 yards, I think at that price, we're getting a bargain. I think it's worth it. And so from that standpoint, if somebody's even second guessing at all, I'm saying don't. This is the kind of guy who can take down the tournament. And because right now so many people are on the fence, that's why you go with it.
All right, I got a couple more guys. Actually, I have a few more guys. Kirk Cousins and Geno Smith. I think these guys are in good matchups there. Tampa Bay. Kirk Cousins, though, doesn't get it done on the ground. Okay. But Geno Smith against the Rams. Look, the Rams are a mess right now. And Geno Smith is not. Seattle's actually a little bit of a mess because their defense, they don't have Jamal Adams. Witherspoon's probably not playing. I'm not saying this game is going to blow up, but Geno Smith should go 240-2. Willie, any interest in these two guys?
240-2 is not going to be enough.
Right.
For Geno, he's got to give me 3. I think he is a play. Okay. I mean, the Rams got Aaron Donald. Who else do they have?
Right. Nobody.
Yeah, I wait. I wait. So, Geno, but I don't know if that's going to be enough. I don't know if this game is going to be I don't know if it's going to be, that back and forth that we like to have.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's not going to explode.
Yeah. I think we might have a little pop, boop, boop, from the Rams, and that may be it. So I do like Geno. Now I'll give you a guy who I know hardly nobody's going to play that has my interest. A guy named Luka, what's his name? Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua.
Puka Nacua.
Right.
You know?
So you got two guys. You got Nakua and you got Tutu Atwell. Both those guys are 3,000. My guy, and I couldn't agree more with Heat Override. I'm going to be all in on Tyler Higbee this week. We'll talk about that with tight ends. But look, those are $3,000 flyers. But let me give you two other guys. I'm going to throw out more guys. Any interest in a cheap Sam Howell? Any interest in a cheap Baker Mayfield, Swami?
Well, Doc, first I got some interest in the last game. So just give me let me get two.
Right, go ahead, give it to me all.
First, I do like Atwell. He popped out on film from the 2 games last year. And oh, by the way, that wasn't with his Super Bowl winning quarterback. That was with a couple of guys who barely in the league right now, except for Mayfield. He's doing his thing. But anyway, so I like what he could do, and nobody's talking about him, right? Again, as a part of a stack. They've all but given up on Stafford and the Rams. And guess what they could do? Come out on the road in a division game, him and Higbee, they could make some noise. And oh, by the way, I think Mr. Smith could go for more than 240-2. I think Doc was just giving you kind of a baseline. That was more of a floor. I think me and Doc both agree that he can go above that. So I don't know why we were so quick to turn our nose up at Mr. Geno Smith, because I think they can make some noise as well. Like that game.
Let me say something. Number one, the reason I disagree with Atwell is he an outside receiver or inside receiver?
He's the only receiver. They ain't got nobody.
No, he's outside.
Yeah.
Seattle's one of the strongest guys on the boundaries. Okay, that's why.
Well, that's why Tyler Higbee is going to make a lot.
I agree with Higbee and Luka will run the inside.
Puka, not Luka. It's not basketball.
Luka, Duka, Tatuka. You know,
Puka's not Duka. Let me tell you that right now. He's good.
Yeah, but they will run the inside. That's why I see everybody. The models got Atwell. See, I'm going contrarian on that one. That's the reason why I say that. I think it won't be Atwell on that one. Of course, Higbee's a great play. I agree with you because it's going to be open and they're going to be behind. Okay, but the one thing that I need to know is I think you can get the Rams both ways now. All they got is Aaron Donald. You follow what I'm saying? You know, when Seattle takes the lead, what do they want to do? Take the air out the ball. You understand what I'm saying? I
do. That's true. Look, I'm going to go back to the player that I think I like maybe more than you guys do. I got a sweet spot for Baker Mayfield. I think that one of two things happens. Brian Flores is the new defensive coordinator for the Vikings. He is going to blitz every down. If Baker could get mauled, he could get sacked 8 times. But what if Baker just chucks it up there to Mike Evans, who catches a touchdown? Could Baker go 240-2, and at $4,900, this guy's going 4x?
And you know what I also like about Baker? A lot of people not talking about how he kind of had the Rams looking at the end of the season last year. He got something to prove, and guess what? He's in a situation where he could come out and absolutely win in that offense. Remember, they've had a few quarterbacks down there look decent. Right? It wasn't just the GOAT. They had a few guys down there who was able to make a little bit of noise. You talked about a division game. I think Godwell's still ready to play. I think Mr. Evans is still coming to play. I think Mr. White is still coming to play. I think he's primed to make some noise.
I like Baker with White and Evans, and I like to bring it back with Jefferson. Right. Because Jefferson's had 7 games last year over 30 points. So you want that upside. So if you play that, you can afford, Mr. Jefferson and a guy that had 7 games over 30 points. I think he's worth being in your lineup.
And I'm gonna go crazy, Doc. I think that's the only way you play Mr. Jefferson this week.
I agree.
That's it.
All right, let me give you some more names before we leave. I'm not in on Sam Howell. I think that game is going to be a little smellier than people think. What do you guys think about 2 players? I'll give you 2 players. One, I think Derek Carr is so under the radar this week. Nobody's talking about him. Tennessee had the worst secondary. They couldn't cover anybody. They're so slow back there. Can you not see Carr going to Chris Olave at least twice? Maybe Willie's guy Rashid Shaheed could get a touchdown. I could see that too. That could be taking down $1 million right there. I don't know. Any interest in that one, Willie?
Yes, A lot of interest. Me and Swami was talking about that. We got a lot of interest in Carr because what does he do well? He throws the deep ball well. Who goes deep? You know, Olave. Oh, Olave. Whoa. And you can get me Rashid Haheed too as a double a stack too. And then you can run it back with Mr. Henry because New Orleans defense is cheeks against the run. Olave.
Well, so that's a good question. Would you run it back with Henry or do you run it back with D-Hop?
You could do, I think you could do it with both because most people are looking at D-Hop, right? They're looking at D-Hop, but Henry will be the interesting guy going back because if they throw the ball at D-Hop, then if they get it by the goal line, who getting the ball? It's going to be Mr. Henry. So what I'm saying is, or Henry could break a big one. Oh, Henry could break a big one. So I'm just saying
he could break a big one.
I love. Listen, me and Swamp, we love Carr. We love Carr this game. We love him. Love him.
So underrated. All right, Swami. Before we leave quarterbacks, I forgot to even talk about the Bengals and the Browns. Joe Burrow, Deshaun, Chase. I think this game either blows up or it's a stinker. I haven't figured out which one. I think it's a little stinky to me. I may avoid it.
I think so as well. I think it might be fun to watch. I don't know if we're going to get fantasy goodness here. These teams have been playing each other well. I think one game out of the year, Chubbs, he goes nuts. I think everybody else, I'm interested in at least seeing what Mr. Watson would do in the game, but without the back and forth, I just don't know. If I picked any piece, it would not be, a full stack or quarterback. But I do think Mr. Howell is interesting because of his price, but not because of the game or the potential for it to have any back and forth.
Is that game going to really explode? Is that game going to be 38-0? And if it is, aren't they going to run 3 touchdowns in?
I think so, but I think with new ownership, new coaches, new offensive coordinator with something to prove, coming over from Atlanta, do they just want to show out a game at home for their fans? And I'm trying to talk myself into it, Doc. But something I feel like it might be more on the backs this week 1, meaning maybe Gibson or Robinson. But I could see a scenario where Eric wants to show off. Because guess what? Superman lost his cape on Thursday night. You can't just put him out there with nobody and expect him to be able to win games week in and week out. He needs help too.
All right, let's get to some running backs, okay? Willie, are we going expensive? There's Eckler. There's McCaffrey. And let me just throw this one out there, guys. I don't know how people are not talking more Bijan Robinson. I know he's 8,000, but in another 2 weeks, this guy's going to be 9,800 going up against Carolina. And this offensive line is good. I mean, I just think that you got to have one of these guys in your lineup. Do you want any expensive guys, Willie, or do you want to save money at running back?
I do have a little. I hate his. I think DraftKings, man, you bastards. Because we both $8,000 for a rookie, you bastards. But that's saying we both. I mean, me and Swami, we both like him. That price has pissed us off. When we saw the price because he's a bad man. Let me tell you something about Mr. Robinson. The thing that I like about him is this dude averaged 3.3 yards a carry on rushing tips, before he got to the line. I mean, the dude is bad. How many running backs do you see in college average 13 yards per pass catch? He's got all. And when you saw the game, you saw when he did a couple of moves, man, you said, man, that guy got it. That's why they said, no. Go back on the shelf. We're going to put you back because I think they're going to unleash him this game because they average 4.9 yards a carry. What does Atlanta do well? They run the ball.
Yep.
And I think they might release this running back. And I think he's a hell of a play. I'm going to have a couple of shares. I don't like the price, but he's a baller. I like him.
Swami, are you paying up for Eckler? Are you paying up for Bijan? Where are you going here, or are you going to be cheaper?
If you're just asking in general, I think those guys are great plays. Eckler seems to do it. Walls has some concern that he might not get the 5 or 6 catches out of the backfield that makes him,
I like it. I like Eckler.
But you gotta like Eckler what he does in that offense. I think, he looks special. Robinson does. I wish his price was somewhere around 6,700 first week. 8,000 is kind of tough because we still talking about a Falcons offense that could stall and we can see 5 kicks easy. They love putting the kick out there. They love putting the kick out there in the dome. But you gotta like him, and I could easily see him coming out and being one of these rookies that have one of those dominant first games. Easy, no question. But as far as paying up, I like Jacobs a lot. We already talked about, some interest in Chubb, not a lot, right? That's kind of dropped a little bit. But as far as pay up, Walls made a great point about Henry, but I don't know. Like, is the pricing so soft week 1? They don't have this clear cut you have to play. So other than maybe Jacobs, I'm not high on any of the other guys. I think you can get away with playing somebody.
What? All right, I'll give you some more guys. Rashad White, Miles Sanders, guys in that mid-5 crowd. Raheem Mostert.
Love him. My favorite.
Love him, right?
That's my favorite back.
Hold on, flag on the play. I do not. Miami can't run the ball. I didn't told Willie about it. That's what they're going to get.
No. But the Chargers, literally, Brandon Staley's defense is almost. They go back. They don't even stop the run.
The numbers don't lie.
5.6
yards per carry. And what he learned last year. This is what I like. He even said it. I did not stick to the run game. That was his downfall, and it was too late. I think they're going to try to keep the game close.
The worst high school team right now. You put me at quarterback. Nothing's. They look like the 85 Bears. It matters what you can do, not just what they can't stop. It has to be both. If you can't run, you can't run against anybody. They have to. That team has to be committed to the run. They haven't proven it. That's why I don't.
But the way they play that defense is a run funnel.
You haven't. I hear you talking about what the defense does. Miami hasn't shown me 100-yard run. They don't do it. It's just
right. But Mostert is going to be about 15 to 20% owned, and he doesn't catch the ball real well. So if he doesn't score 2 touchdowns, he is going to have to go for 102. To be worth it to me, at least 101. That's 16, right? Yeah. And then the bonus.
I think he's going to catch the ball. I think you're mistaken. I think they're going to throw the ball to him. I think he's going to get 4 or 5 catches in this game.
Walls like him. I'm just going on the record to say I just don't like the offense, the way that they use their running backs. But Mr. Sanders, I was telling Walls on film, Foreman stood out quite a bit. He ran all through Atlanta both games last year. It could be some opportunities for Sanders to step in and get some of that production.
Yeah, but their offensive line is horrible.
But let me ask you this, Willie. Do you think we're forgetting Devin Achane? Because this dude is fast. And nobody's talking about him, not one word. If they're losing in this game, is that dude out there on 3rd downs? Because it's not Mostert.
And I would say I would disagree with that because one of his flaws right now is his blocking. You understand what I'm saying? So you saw in the game last night, who did Detroit play? Mostly on pass downs. Who was it?
Well, it wasn't Gibbs.
It wasn't Gibbs. You follow what I'm saying? Well, they don't trust you on that. And who in the hell? What do you got to do for Mr. Tua? That bastard get hurt on somebody blowing wind on him.
All right, I got another guy. What about Ramondre Stevenson? What about an Eagles stack bringing back Stevenson because he catches the ball out of the backfield? Zeke doesn't catch anything, nothing except whatever he's doing outside, in the clubs. He's catching something at the clubs, probably crabs.
I don't know if I like his price, Doc.
What's his price?
7.
$7.
Yeah, 7.
You're not supposed to. But if you're stacking that game, you got to come back with somebody.
Listen, it's worth a shot if you want to throw him in there. If you do it, I mean, but we are not
The reason I don't like that stack as a primary stack is just too expensive on both sides. And so what you're going to be playing the rest of the way out is guys you hope get 3 catches.
Okay, I'm going to give you 3 guys who should score touchdowns. So on FanDuel, I love them. I'm not sure about DK. Jamal Williams. Does he not find the end zone?
Likely he'll find the end zone.
Right.
Yeah,
but
on
DK or no?
Tennessee is one of the best against the run.
They are very good against the run. 2, Brian Robinson. I can't imagine he doesn't score.
He finds
11 for the Commanders. Yes.
Yes. Do you play him in DK at 5,100?
Yes.
3, J.K. Dobbins. How does that dude not score?
I don't know about that one. You know, that's my team, Doc. I think he don't score because Gus Edwards getting it at the 1. I think he don't score because Lamar running it. I think he don't score because the play action going to Andrews. I can come up with 10 different reasons. I'm just not as certain on him. I may be a little bit too close to it, Doc. I think I might be emotionally involved.
And he'd override. I saw that. Listen. Aaron Jones is a man of interest. Okay,
man of interest. Jordan Love to be throwing the ball 3 yards to Aaron Jones.
Yeah. Don't I see that, and I got some interest in Mr. Aaron Jones. So don't
Could Aaron Jones go 7 for 60 out of the backfield and run for another 40 and maybe catch a touchdown, and all of a sudden you got yourself a 25-point game?
Yeah. Aaron Jones has done it against him. He eats them up,
He does.
And with the injuries at wide receiver, they're going to lean on them backs this week. I like them.
All right, we didn't talk about the most important player before we keep going. Deion Jackson. The free square, as Willie would say, 4,100. I'm avoiding, but Willie, I know you like a bargain, dude.
Now listen, I'm going to have me some, because I don't know what they don't like about it. I look at he's got a little juice to him to me. At 4,100, and if they're going to be concentrating on that quarterback on the RPOs, I'm just saying, I like him. I mean, I think most.
Let me tell you why, Willie. People forget that when Jonathan Taylor was back there, they rave about this offensive line and this offense and what they can do. But you take him out of there, and then all of a sudden, they just don't like him as much. But Deion Jackson is playing behind that same offensive line, and he's in that same offense. At that price, he has a shot.
I mean, he catches balls. I mean, against Jacksonville last year, 10 for 79. Woo!
Yeah,
Woo!
I mean, he can. I mean, look, if he goes for 19 points, you in trouble. If you don't got him in your lineup, you in trouble. Somebody 4,100, and he scored 20 points before. We've seen it. I've seen it.
28.
Now, let me ask you a question. Can you ridiculously, play Richardson and Deion Jackson together and run it back with Ridley?
Yes.
I don't hate that.
Because you're getting all the quarterback points and you're getting all the running back points.
And you could get 3 rushing touchdowns out of that.
Correct. I can get 3 rushing touchdowns, and Richardson's likely going to pass it to Jackson more than anybody else. I'm saving a ton of money that I could be Jefferson, I could be Tyreek, I could be Tyrone, I can get him in there. You know what I'm talking about, Swame. All right, let's get to wide receivers. He put a guy out there. Let's kick it off with him. I love me some Deebo Samuel this week. I love this guy. And really, don't look at me like that. I'm going to make a prediction. First of all, Deebo scores. Book it. Secondly, San Francisco loses this game.
I can agree with that. I can agree, but I don't want nobody. Don't give me nobody in this game. No, thank you. I respect both defenses too much. No. I don't want Deebo. I don't want his wife. I don't want his mom. I don't want nobody. Don't give me nobody in Deebo's family. Ayuk, he ain't on fire this game. I don't care. I don't want none of those rascals. I don't want no Najee. I don't want Taji.
No, I only want one guy in this game. I want Deebo, and that's it. One guy.
You're bringing out the Keith Sweat and me as well. Nobody. I don't think I want.
All right. So now there's a lot of receivers we like. We've mentioned a lot of guys. So let's just go through it. Jefferson, are we in? Yes?
He's a play.
Tyreek, is he a play?
He's, I got to
They are plays, Doc, but I am not in love with them.
Yeah, I'm not. In love
Waddle? Are you in love with Waddle?
No, I'm not in love with Waddle, but I'll tell you the guy I do like, and a lot of people don't want to play him. They want to go to Mike Williams. I do think Keenan Allen is a man of interest for me.
He is a man of interest. So I was just going to ask you about Keenan. I'm not playing any Mike Williams, but would you play like a Herbert, Eckler, Keenan Allen? But you don't want to bring it back with Tyreek or Waddle.
Yeah. I will. I think an interesting stack that a lot of people won't do is you could do, because Eckler catches a lot of balls. You could do Eckler Mozart. It's not a bad little thing to do. I'm just telling you. Because Eckler, it doesn't matter. He could do. I'm just telling you that would be interesting. But for me, the reason I like Allen is number one. First of all, the prices are $1,700 apart, so everybody's going to go to Williams. But what defense does this dude play? That the corner they play cover 6. They play corner defenses, so they do not. Mike Williams is not as good, and it's been proven against the zone. They were playing man to man last year. They're not going to be playing man to man this year because they lost their best corner, and they're not playing man to man. They're going to be playing zone. So that's why I like Keenan, and their offense is really it focuses on Keenan. So I like Keenan Allen a lot this game.
All right, I like Allen too. So we mentioned Ridley before. We like Ridley. We like Olave. Let's talk about DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. You playing
Metcalf's
the Rams?
in play.
Are they both in play?
I don't know about as much Lockett, but I know Metcalf is my favorite player on Seattle.
They both in play, and I like Lockett a lot.
And the reason I don't like Lockett as much, because I think that Higbee, that Higba guy is a very interesting. I think he's a very interesting guy.
Okay, what about, guys, the Denver Broncos against the Raiders? Interesting game here. One, Sean Payton is making this a statement game. This is a statement game. Do we like Cortland Sutton? Do we like Marvin Mims? Do we like Devontae Adams? I know you mentioned Jacobs before, Swame, but there's 3 good receivers here. Do we like any of them?
I love Sutton. I love Adams. These guys get the love. Love. Crazy. Anyway, Doc, I think you're on to something. This is the kind of game I'm talking about, especially when you can get a Super Bowl winning quarterback at a discount, and you can put him with Mr. Sutton. Wall seems to like Williams, think he's going to get at least 18 touches. And if you put a combination like that coming back with either Jacobs and you could do it either way, Mr. Adams, I think you got something special. I love this game.
Willie, do you trust Devontae Adams against Patrick Surtain?
It's not Devontae Adams. I don't trust. It's the rascal that throwing to Devontae Adams. I don't trust. So, and the reason that's why I really like what Swami said. I like Jacobs better. I mean, Jacobs he hit them in the head last year, both games. Hit him in the head. But with Surtain healthy, man, I tell you, man, Adams is a tough swallow for me. I mean, I understand. I just don't trust the quarterback because one thing Carr did.
Him up.
Who?
Lighting Surtain up.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. I said the quarterback. Okay. Adams went deep a lot last year. That's how they ate him up last year. But this quarterback doesn't go to.
He doesn't go more than 20 yards downfield, Swami. He doesn't.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you got to have the capability of getting that ball, and that man go ass low. It's hard to trust.
All right, a couple more players. Drake London, interest or no interest?
I don't trust the quarterback.
All right, Jamar Chase, interest or no interest with Denzel Ward there?
I think Cleveland's defense is better. Man, Chase is chasing me away.
McLaurin and Dotson for Washington.
Their matchup isn't bad. I just don't know if they'll need to throw enough in that game.
Yeah.
Evans and Godwin for Tampa.
I got interest. I got interest in Evans. Yeah, I got interest because they're going to have to throw.
Now, do we like Rachaad White in that mix, or do we like Evans and Godwin more?
I actually like Rachaad White. I think Rachaad. I think he's going to get the ball, running ball, and he's going to get the ball that passes. I think he can catch 7 or 8 balls out of the backfield. And I like Rachaad White.
I'm not mad at that. Baker dumps it off enough.
Can you talk to me strategy-wise? I want you guys to tell me if I'm right or wrong here, okay? I just had this idea 2 seconds ago. Maybe I don't play Baker, but I want Rachaad White and Godwin and Jefferson. But maybe I do it with Anthony Richardson and run him naked.
Listen, I'm not. You know,
why is that bad, Swami?
Because I think for that to hit, Baker's having a heck of a game.
Yeah, if White, if they gotta hit, I mean, you gotta have somebody to bring them along. You can't just play those two. I know it's happened once or twice. I've seen it happen.
Well, what if White goes 5? What if White gets a touchdown and Godwin goes 6 for 16 a touchdown? White goes 6 or 16 a touchdown. Baker ends up
well 6 for 64 touchdowns not gonna be enough to win it.
But that's what I'm saying. So if Baker only throws for 240 and 2, I'm not winning.
Yeah, I get it. But if they get those numbers, you're not gonna win it either.
You're not winning either way.
You know,
need to go off. So it gotta hit.
Yeah, he's got to get 25 points.
Right. It's gotta hit for it to go off. And without it correlating, I think it's just uphill.
You see what JS is saying? He loves naked men.
I don't mind the naked quarterback. I don't listen. Somebody like Richardson, I don't mind because I mean, we did that with Lamar. You know what I mean? We do that, but we did it with Fields.
It's possible, but 84, the last 84, it is not likely. It's possible, but it's a low probability a naked quarterback, especially a rookie in his first game.
Let's go to tight end. I know Willie's got to get out of here at some point soon. Tight end, are there guys? I think we all agree on Higbee. Are we spending money up on Hawkinson, Goddard, Ingram, Njoku, Pitts? Any of those guys interest you?
Njoku is interesting. The reason being because Watson, lit him up the last 6 games. Njoku was a man. That's the only guy I will have interest in. But the guy that piques the guy that piques my interest is Musgrove.
Musgrave is very cheap. Very cheap.
He piques my interest. So if you're not going with Higbee, I think Musgrove is a very interesting guy going to that game because in the preseason, out of 36 snaps, with 36 routes with the preseason, he had he ran routes of 32 of them. That's a hell of a percentage for a tight end. So he's going to get in there.
Swami, what about Hayden Hurst? Revenge narrative, $3,000. Carolina's got to throw to somebody. Do you hate him to get 4 for 50, maybe a touchdown?
No, I like Hurst. I like him a lot. I think he could be reliable for the rookie. I think that he's going back. He's got the revenge factor, the indoors. He knows it there. He's quick. He's got some deceptive kind of speed and moves. He can get open. I like Hurst a lot. But out of all the tight ends this week, the people kind of just jump out like they have to maybe do something for their teams to have a shot. I think I like Higbee a lot. I think you already talked about that. It has some interest in Schultz, kind of his first time again with a rookie, but his price is kind of for me. I think Pitts is in a really good spot. Is interesting. I think he can make a little bit of noise, especially when they start to have their hands full trying to stop Robinson and maybe in a play action game or getting him downfield. So somewhere in there, but paying up, I just don't know about if this is the week I want to have Andrews in that game. Hawkinson could be a man of interest, but it's just tough to pay up. So I'm looking to put my tight end in a stack, and I'm thinking about maybe somebody like Willie mentioned, Njoku or somebody like that as a part of the stack.
Now, Heat wants us to talk about Logan Thomas. Eric Bieniemy knows what to do with a tight end.
Not only know, but hell no. Logan Thomas will break down in warm-ups, and you'll be done.
I need him on the field, Doc.
All right.
He's a tough guy.
I need a guy in the field. All right.
He's 32 years old, man. No.
All right. Defense. I am not playing the Commanders. I'm going to tell you for 2 reasons. One, I don't think Arizona's going to throw the ball more than 3 yards. I don't think that Josh Dobbs is sitting back there and taking deep shots downfield. So, and I don't want to be 25% owned either. Trust me, I don't want the 25% owned defense. I'll pass.
Doc, I gotta disagree. I'm going to have me some shares of the Commanders.
I know, but if the Commanders don't get me 15 points, then you're locked in. I can get a 2% defense.
I think Seattle is interesting. I mean, I think Seattle is a very interesting team, But man, I'm gonna tell you, Doc, because I looked at the DraftKings it was some smart rascals this week. They ain't really give us that team that you trust, below, and the lowest one that I trust. Commanders got a good defense.
I know they do, but my point to you is I'm looking at the percentages here. You could be looking at 35%.
I don't know.
That's insanity.
Who are you playing?
I'm playing the Texans against Swame's Ravens. No, I'm kidding. All right. I'm kidding. All right.
Doc, I got
it. Willie, you got $100, baby. What's your stack?
Hey, you know what I'm gonna say, man. I know I'm a fool, but man, why do I like stinking ass Baker Mayfield, man? I can't believe I'm saying it out of my mouth. Listen, when you play in Minnesota, it's like a pinball machine. The points come on the board. And I agree with Swame. I think Baker got something to prove. I mean, they are poo-pooing him. And you know what? I'm going to be contrarian.
You're a very sick man, Willie. Go ahead.
I'm going to say Mike.
Oh, my God. Just say it.
Mike Evans. What's up?
I'm cutting this guy off.
Justin Jefferson, I just think that, to me, like Swami said, Baker, you got less expensive players. This would be the type of stack that people are not on. They're going to be on the Miami. They're going to be on the Miami. I just think this is an interesting stack. I hate Baker Mayfield, but I'm going to tell you, I think against the Vikings, I think he's in play this week.
Swami, who's your stack?
Doc, with that $100, I won't go through all those dramatics. I narrowed it down to these three guys: Derek Carr, I think Geno Smith, and then Wilson, right? And so I looked at it and I said, all right, which games do I think I like better as far as scoring points? And I feel like we could probably get more points in Denver and Las Vegas. So I think I would go with Wilson as my stack.
There's so many stacks I like this week. I originally liked Miami. I like the Chargers, but I'm with Willie. I like the flexibility of that Tampa stack, putting it back, running it back with Jefferson so I can get the 30-point game, because if Baker goes off, there's no way Jefferson doesn't go off, right? So that game right there, that's where it explodes, and then it's on me to get the rest of my guys right. All right. Swami says, play of the week. Who's the guy we're not thinking of?
The guy that I think that a lot of people aren't thinking of, namely guys like Willie Walls, is going to be
take your time.
Sanders for Carolina.
I like him. I do. Going to get 25 touches. If he gets 25 touches, how does he not get 100 total yards?
Exactly.
Well, I'm gonna go with somebody that Swami don't like, that I like a lot, Moser. I think Rasheem Moser is going to get 20-something points in this game, and he's 5,400. I like Moser in this game. I think Miami's going to change the script up, and so all those Tyreek Hills and those other things might fail. I think Moser is the guy that I like.
And you guys don't believe me, but I'll be getting a text from you somewhere around 1:30 when Deebo Samuel scores his first touchdown. And maybe by 3 o'clock, I'm going to get a second one saying that second touchdown.
Doc, it's a lot of defense in that game. I don't know.
He is scoring a touchdown. Book it.
That's a lot of defense.
Okay.
Book it, Dano.
Hey, listen, he won't be in one lineup. I'm just telling you that right now. I would not have.
Maybe you don't like money. Maybe you don't like money. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, turf toe, crabs, sexually transmitted infections, all the things that most of them get before you get 100 yards and 2 touchdowns.
By the way, I do like Rashid Shaheed this week. If Derek Carr goes deep, Tennessee is slow.
Yeah, that's not a bad play.
All right, guys. I wish everybody out there much luck this week. We're rooting for you. We're going to take it down. Doc, Willie, the Swame, be well and
Take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.
I'll go surrender. Let's go.